Hello everyone. Welcome to our Shamatha meditation practice today. So if you are new to Shamatha, I'll explain a little bit what Shamatha is. We'll talk about the practice, we'll talk about the technique, and then we'll sit for a little bit together. So Shamatha is a Tibetan Buddhist practice of sitting and watching your breath. It's called a vipassana, excuse me, I always say that weird, vipassana practice, which just means one-pointed focus. And so what we're trying to do in Shamatha is simply teach the mind to focus on one task, one thing. And it's actually really interesting that our mind is not trained to focus on one thing, right? That actually our automatic mind focuses on many, many tasks at once, and that our conscious mind can only focus on one task at a time. And so when we ask the mind to focus on one thing, to focus on one task, one concept, it's actually harder for the mind to do, right? So we're always thinking about so many things. We're having what we call monkey mind, bouncing around from thought to thought to thought. And that's our automatic mind. That's the way that the mind automatically is. It's designed for survival, right? You need to be able to run away from the lion at the same time that you're breathing and I don't know, circulating oxygen, and you're doing all of these things, and you're thinking about what path to take to get away from the lion, right? So survival instincts have led us to be able to do multiple tasks. But now we've gotten to a point in our lives where we're too consumed with all of the thoughts of our day. We're too consumed with doing multiple things and not being completely present on one task. But we have to train ourselves to do that, because it's not been what we have done over our period of growth and our period of development. So this practice allows us to train the mind to do that, to focus on one thing. In this practice, you are not supposed to not think. You're not supposed to shut off your mind, right? We're just trying to teach it to focus, to understand and recognize when you're thinking about too many things at once, and come back to the present moment. We talk about being enlightened beings in an everyday situation, in an everyday body, right? So an enlightened being, right, is one that is fully present, fully aware, fully conscious of the moment. And so we're trying to find moments of that, moments of clarity, moments of real peace, real true presence, right? And so this practice allows us to do this. So this is a practice you can do every day. And for those of you that have been joining me on these Shamatha meditations, I hope you are doing your meditation practice other days, and then joining in with me to get a little refresher as well. So with this practice, again, we're not trying to not think, we're trying to notice our thoughts. And when we notice our thought, whenever along that journey of that thought we notice it, we label it with the word thinking. Clear, simple, concise thinking. And then we let it go and we come back to our breath. And it's on that letting go and the coming back that is really the meat of our work. That's the challenging time with this practice. It's not the thinking, right? That's easy. And it's not even necessarily watching your breath. But it's in the task of letting go that is the difficulty, right? Because you can get pulled off along that path, right? So we have to do this and practice it and cultivate it, okay? So start in a comfortable seat, sitting upright. Try not to lean against anything too much. If you need a gentle chair against your back, that's fine. Don't do this practice laying down. Don't do this practice leaning against your couch. Anything that could lead to you falling asleep, right? We want to stay fully present. We want to stay aware and conscious. So similarly, we do this practice with our eyes open, which is a little different than some other meditation practices. And we actually practice with a soft downward gaze, noticing about half, about 50%. So inside 50%, outside 50%. So you're going to find a soft gaze and then notice your breath. And you can notice your breath wherever it feels the most available to you. Typically, we find it either at the belly, the rise and fall of the chest, or the tip of the nose. Whatever works the best for you. And if along your journey you need to change up that breath, then change it up. Also, if keeping the eyes open is a little much for you and you need to close your eyes, then close your eyes for a few breaths and then reopen them and find that soft downward gaze again. Remember, this is a journey, right? This is not trying to master something the first time you sit down or even the 10,000th time you sit down, right? This practice is about working with what we have, the mind that we have in the moment that we have it, and recognizing where it is and being able to come back to ground, right? So, also, one more thing to note is that an itch on your nose is a thought. So scratch your nose and then go back to your breath, right? So don't think that you have to stay rigid or you can't move and you can't find a little comfortable position. You can just do it thinking back to the breath, okay? So let's do it. Ready? So take your seat, let the palms of your hands find your thighs, elbows heavy. Find that soft downward gaze. And I'm going to ring the bell. For those of you that have been meditating with me, I recommend that you pause the video now and continue meditating for another 5 minutes. If you're finishing and completing your meditation practice now, then let's just move and shift the body. I love to come into like a twist afterwards because my spine always needs just a little bit of movement. Great. So I'd love to know how that went. Remembering that one of the things about this practice is that it's ever changing. Every time I sit on my cushion is a different experience. Some days my brain is all over the place, and some days I'm a little bit more present and a little bit more clear. But this practice is not about perfecting, but it's about teaching. It's teaching your mind. It's teaching you how to be more present, how to be more focused for your daily life. And then you'll find those, what we call wake-up moments, the moments where you are clear, where you're driving down the road and suddenly you notice the beautiful trees around you. You're having a conversation with your friend and you're completely focused on that conversation. And so the power of this practice is really wonderful. So how often? You should do it as much as you can. If you can find time every day to sit, even just 5 minutes, sitting somewhere quiet, setting a timer, 5 minutes a day would be great. 10 minutes a day would be great. But if you're going to only have the opportunity like every other day, then that's fine too. You have to start somewhere, and so never beat yourself up. If you sit for a few days consistently and then you miss a few days, then don't worry. Just get back to the cushion. Right? That's really what it is, just get back, because it's there waiting for you. And so it's always there. All right, so namaste, my friends.